Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Music and Moonsaults. I am your host, Chris Bourdine, and it's SummerSlam day. So we're gonna watch a SummerSlam match together. Before we do, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. Got a little over a month to get me to 100 subscribers, so that I can review the first Taylor Swift album with Jeremy Lambert of Fightful. Of the Distraction on Fightful. Go check them out. They have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/thedistraction. They got a lot of cool stuff. You can support them for as little as $1 a month, and that's a steal for the content they're giving you. I was supposed to be on with them last week, but then I got really sick and couldn't do it. So that bumped me out. Hopefully, I'll get another chance. So shout out to Jeremy and Joe, both really good guys. And but yeah, I want Jeremy on here to talk Taylor Swift with me. So subscribe to the channel so that can happen. It's been a crazy month for me. Not gonna lie, a lot going on. My son's first birthday was this month, and we had not one but two birthday parties. Because my wife and I, our families live quite a ways apart, and so it's just easier to do two parties and get everyone in one place for one party. So between that and just a bunch of other stuff going on, I put out the Rock and Roll Retrospective with Joel Pearl talking about Metallica's Black Album, and I'm doing this video, but no flagship show this month. I was going to do Alexa Bliss, that won the poll, and I sat down to try and do it a couple different times, and I just didn't have the time to really flesh out how I wanted to go about it, what all I wanted to talk about, how to accurately describe to you her theme songs in a way that would be coherent. So yeah, I just decided to scrap for this month rather than give you guys a subpar product. I just scrap it, and we'll try again next month. So I got a couple things lined up already for next month. That's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll do those instead. But today, as I said, it's SummerSlam day. We are the day after CM Punk returns to wrestling in AEW, which was a big deal for a lot of people. So if you're one of those people, I'm happy for you. But it's SummerSlam, second biggest pay-per-view of the year for the WWE. This year, it's probably the biggest pay-per-view of the year because WrestleMania was, while they had people, it still wasn't WrestleMania really. It didn't feel like it. So this is the first chance for them to really, in the brand new Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. I don't know. There's a couple things I'm looking forward to. So the pay-per-views have been good. The weekly TV, not so much, but the pay-per-views have been good. So hopefully they keep that rolling. But today, normally, I have a guest on for the Wrestling Wayback Machine, and we talk about. Lately, I've just been doing single matches, right? Instead of talking about full pay-per-views. And again, because of the craziness of the month, and my schedule and other people's schedules, no guest this time. So to make up for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch a match. It's a match, one of my favorite matches, especially of the last 10 years. But it's AJ Styles versus John Cena from SummerSlam 2016. So I encourage you to pull up your Peacock or if you happen to be lucky enough to still have the old WWE Network, if you're out of the country, outside the U.S., whether real or, through the miracle of software, pull up SummerSlam 2016. But if you're on Peacock like me, you're going to go to season 29, episode 1, obviously, because there's only one SummerSlam that year. I don't like, a lot of people, side note, a lot of people are have complaints about Peacock, myself included. I'm not real happy with the Peacock. But like, I'm not as down on the whole seasons thing as a lot of people seem to be. A lot of people really hate that everything's listed as seasons. So, for instance, if you want to watch like 2001 Raw, you got to go to like season 8 or whatever instead of just going to the year 1990 or 2001. I mean, I get it, but it's got to be navigatable. Anyways, it's got to match the rest of this, stuff on the service. So if all the other shows in that are listed as seasons, this kind of has to too. So it just takes a little, like this one, you just count backwards. And so you get season 29, it's the 29th edition of SummerSlam. So, but anyways, so season 29, episode 1, SummerSlam 2016. I'm at 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 54 seconds. The video package for the match is about to start. So I'm going to play that. I might even pipe in a little bit of the audio. But not a whole lot because, I don't want to get... I don't want to get a strike. So here we go. I'm going to press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Moment for Raw.
And this is the time on moment on Raw
history-making match
where they
you gotta be kidding me, Anderson.
They hold on, sorry. They did the thing where AJ and Cena were in the ring together for the first time, and AJ acted like he was going to be really respectful and stuff like that, and the Good Brothers came out and they end up beat up John Cena. And they have a match at Money in the Bank, which AJ actually wins, which was a shock to a lot of people. So then we get another one-on-one match here at SummerSlam. And I think a lot of people figured, myself included, well, that means Cena's going to win this one. We'll see if that's the case or not. I think for a guy like me, I was a big AJ Styles fan from TNA. And I was a big AJ Styles fan. So when he signed and debuted at the Rumble, I was happy. But, like a lot of people, I was a little nervous because, he's not exactly a big guy. We know how guys that make their name in other places sometimes get treated. So I was a little skeptical. He does the he gets the Jericho match at WrestleMania, which was cool. That was like number 1 on my dream match list when he came in was Jericho, and they did it at WrestleMania, which was awesome. Then he goes right in the next night after WrestleMania. He wins the number 1 contender, like Fatal 4-Way, to face Roman Reigns. And he has 2 straight, like, awesome pay-per-view matches with Roman Reigns. Just really great stuff. And that's when you're kind of like, okay. And then he goes right into this feud with Cena. And like I said, he beats Cena on the first match in at Money in the Bank in 2016, and we're now here at SummerSlam for the return. So, and it's weird too because they had the club together, and then they did the draft. They redid the brand split, and then they split the club up in the draft. Like the Good Brothers went to Raw, and AJ went to SmackDown. So that was kind of weird that they split them up right away, which, I mean, kind of par for the course with how the Good Brothers were treated in the company. So, and here we go. Starting with the entrances, AJ's out first. I'm at 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 30 seconds. Get the pyro. Get the, here comes AJ Styles. You don't want none. So yeah, I was really nervous about this match. This was still, it's very rare now, that I can watch wrestling and get fully emotionally invested, where I live and die with every near fall and stuff like that. But I have to say, like, the first, probably through, I don't know, up until he won his second title in November of 2017. Up until then, I so like basically the first almost 2 years of AJ's WWE run, like, and anytime he had a big match like this, I was very emotionally invested, because I wanted my guy to do well on the big stage. So, and this match was no different. I wasn't quite the Cena hater I used to be. Back 10 years prior to this, like, I was very anti-Cena. And even 5 years prior to this, we just this is kind of cool too. It's kind of like a trilogy of John Cena matches I've covered here the last few months. I started out with One Night Stand 06, and it's like 5-year increments too. It's kind of cool. So One Night Stand 06, and then Money in Bank 2011 last month against the aforementioned CM Punk. And now this 2016 match against AJ Styles at SummerSlam. And Cena's out now, and he's got the it's funny with PBR, all the noise PBR has been making lately about advertising on Dynamite and stuff like that. This is the PBR inspired John Cena shirt, and I remember there was like there for a while there's like a cease and desist on it, because PBR was like, wait a minute, that looks too much like our logo, and they had to change it a little bit. But eventually they got this design back. So Cena's out. We're gonna get the there's the, oh no, we put the hat back on. I thought we were getting the hat toss right away. AJ standing on the outside on the apron, and they're just kind of staring each other down, jaw jacking each other. There's the Cena pose. And Cena's fired up, hits the ropes, and here we go. Here comes the hat toss, and there it goes. Familiar faces in the crowd. That dude that always wears the green shirt with like the smiley face on it or whatever, that's always in the front row, with the brown hat. And I was watching this show before I hit press record. I was watching the stuff that came on before this. This was a pretty good SummerSlam. Looking back on it, there's some good stuff. There was the opening match was Enzo and Cass versus Jericho and Owens, which was, I mean, it's easy to forget how over Enzo and Cass was at this point. The first few months coming up from NXT. So that was a good opener, and then We got Charlotte and Sasha in a match for the Raw Women's title, which was really good. Those two always had really awesome chemistry. And then there was Apollo Crews versus The Miz for the Intercontinental title, which was okay. But we get the lockup here at we're at 110, 48, 49, 50. So. And we get dueling Let's Go Cena, AJ Styles chants. It's Mauro Ranallo, JBL, and David Otunga on commentary. So. Stalemate here, and we're gonna get another lockup, I think. So, yep, headlock, wrenching that headlock in on Cena. AJ is. So, and this is like again, you know, they had the match at Money in the Bank, which in hindsight is kind of weird. I mean, it's fitting, given how much, especially like the last year or so, they've relied on rematches. But like, you think a match like this, you'd want the first time at SummerSlam, but they didn't. So we get the return match, but it's still, the crowd is super hot for this still, even though it's the second time they've seen this match. So, there was a fun little backstage before the match too with the Good Brothers. They're in the feud with the New Day, and they were doing the doctor thing, which was ridiculous. And they had AJ's drop kick. That drop kick where he catches the guy coming off the ropes, and he almost does like a backflip on the drop kick. It's just a beautiful drop kick. And Cena's on the second turnbuckle, jaw-jacking, and Cena gets up behind him and punches him right in the face. AJ Styles is so good. But then AJ, walked up and they did a little thing. And then Balor, because Balor also on the show, this is the inaugural match for the brand new at the time Universal Championship. And he and Seth Rollins were going to compete for that. So they had a thing where it was AJ and the Good Brothers, and then Finn walks up, and they all kind of like, but Finn just kind of walks away. He doesn't give the too sweet. So, and right now Cena's kind of got control of the match. He's kind of just powering AJ Styles with some right hands in the corner. Straight right hands, dropping AJ to the mat. And now the crowd is singing John Cena Sucks.
Having a great time tonight at John Cena's expense. We love him, and John loves every second.
We're on the apron, and he's trying to give an AA to AJ on the apron, but AJ fights out. And suplex on the apron. My goodness. Oh, the hardest part of the ring. Did you know that? Did you know the apron was the hardest part of the ring? I didn't know that. It's crazy. That's the second time they've mentioned that it's the hardest part of the ring in like 30 seconds. Third time. My goodness. You can just almost imagine Vince on the headsets like, make sure you mention it's the hardest part of the ring. All three of you. Big back body drop by Cena on AJ. Holy crap, AJ got some elevation on that. We've got Lil Nate, Charles Robinson is the referee. And we'll my God, this backdrop is ridiculous. Insane. AJ is like, I think that's why people, myself included, there for a while, were really stuck on getting that AJ Styles HBK match at Royal Rumble. Oh, a dropkick from Cena. Wow. Not quite as beautiful as AJ's, but still not something he did often. But anyways, like the style, especially like if you look at like Shawn from like the mid 90s there, 96, 97, the bumps he would take, especially for his bigger opponents. And AJ was the same way. He's just a bumping machine for guys, especially as a heel. So it's very similar. That would have been I still think that would have been a fun match, but more straight right hands from John Cena and a headbutt. Trading blows in the middle of the ring, backing AJ up to the ropes. Now AJ comes firing back with some forearms. That strike combo that knocked Miz's tooth out of his mouth on AJ's like second night in the company. And now Cena's reeling. Shoulder block. Oh, here we go. Cena firing up shoulder blocks. That spinning suplex, whatever that thing is. Almost powerbomb type thing. And 5-knuckle shuffle time. You can't see me. And 5-knuckle shuffle. And here we go. Getting ready for the AA. And AJ's up. And AJ lands on his feet. And a Pele kick. Oh, what a great sequence. Kick to the gut. Going for the Styles Clash. And he hits it. AJ hits the Styles Clash because this be it. Flips him over for the pin. 2. Oh, and Cena kicks out. I love the Styles Clash still. Like, I understand why he does the phenomenal forearm most of the time. But the Styles Clash, that's the move I saw when TNA got the Fox Sports Detroit. Well, it was obviously Detroit for me, for my area, but the syndicated on the regional Fox Sports networks. And they got, it was like afternoons on, oh, here's an AA by Cena now. And AJ kicks out of that. But in 2004, when it was like Friday afternoons on the Fox Sports affiliates, the first time I saw AJ Styles and I saw him hit a Styles Clash, I'm like, what in the hell was that? That was awesome. Like, even more than the Canadian Destroyer. Like, the Canadian Destroyer was cool. Don't get me wrong. But the Styles Clash, I was like, that is a badass move. And that's kind of what made me fall in love with AJ Styles. So. Cena putting AJ up on the top rope. What are we going to try in here? Oh, we're going to try a top or a second rope AA. AJ fighting back. Got him up in the torture rack now. And the torture rack bomb. He doesn't do that one a lot anymore either. I wish he'd bring that out more. But AJ or Cena kicks out of that pin attempt as well. But And as I said, I wasn't quite the Cena hater as I used to be at this point. I still was kind of over him, but I knew I respected him a lot more, and I knew that once he was gone, for the most part, like he is current day, that it was going to be an end of an era, and I would end up missing him, and that held true. Like it's cool to see him back right now doing this program with Roman. What the hell was that? I have no idea what it was. Kind of like a big ending almost, but not quite. See if they show a replay of that, because I kind of missed that because I was looking into the camera talking to you people. He lifts him, catches him, and he lifts him up like you normally would for an AA, but yeah, catches him. It was like a big ending, almost RKO type thing. That was a cool move. I'd never seen Cena do that before. Cena's stalking AJ now. He's going to try another attitude adjustment. Gets him up on the shoulder, but AJ wiggles out. We get a roll up and a kick out. Oh. Cena catches AJ trying to get the STF on. Ushi-Goroshi. JBL, what an idiot. What an idiot, JBL. Beat him. Oh, he's going to beat him with that's not John Cena's move. So, yeah, he goes for the Ushi-Goroshi, which is the knee on the back of the neck on the knee, right? And Morrow calls it correctly. And it does, I mean, to be fair to JBL, the setup really does look like an attitude adjustment, but instead of paying attention, JBL just kind of blurts out, he's going to beat him with his own move. And it's like, well, that's not the attitude adjustment at all. But, I digress. And I actually, I don't mind JBL as a commentator most of the time. He can get a little cartoonish, obviously, Moggle. But this is pretty good. Oh, springboard 450, and he misses. Cena hits a code red and gets a 2 count. AJ's just so smooth, even at this point, Both guys struggling to get to their feet. I am at, just so you guys are aware, if you're watching along, I'm at a 1 hour, 23 minutes, and 55 seconds. Cena trying for another AA, and AJ counters with a German, and then the face buster. Cena kicks out at 2 again. These two guys were just kind of throwing everything at each other. We get back to the dueling AJ Styles, let's go Cena chants. AJ goes for the phenomenal forearm, and Cena catches him and puts the STF on. Oh no. Is AJ going to tap out to the STF? He's quite a long ways from the ropes. Oh, he's going to... No. Oh, AJ slips out and gets a crossface on. Good little transition there. Crowd is buzzing. Cena is lifting out of the crossface, lifting AJ up on his shoulders, trying for another AA. AJ rolls through and we get a calf crusher. My God, this match is awesome. He's really got it in there. Cena's in trouble. Cena's in trouble. What are we going to do? And now Cena transitions out and back to the STF. Some good, it's not the smoothest, transitions between these submission holds. Like, we're not talking like Dean Malenko and He Who Should Not Be Named or anything like that, but it's decent stuff. Cena with an interesting pin combination there. AJ hits an enziguri. Cena looks a little dazed. AJ's trying to get to his feet. Cena's pulling himself up in the corner. AJ comes charging in. Cena. Tornado DDT by John Cena. And I think this is why I started, coming around more on John, is because he started adding some more stuff. Some people thought he was just trying too hard. I was like, no, this is good. This is what people have been wanting. Add some more things to your arsenal, dude. It's okay. Branch out a little bit. It's weird, too, because, obviously this is 5 years ago, so he's 5 years younger, but he's still got the flat top hair. Cena now with the new hair, with the longer hair, he looks younger now than he does here. It's kind of weird. Cena up to the top rope. We're getting the leg drop. Yeah, leg drop on the back of the neck. We get a pin. AJ kicks out again. What's it going to take to put one of these men away, people? Stay tuned to find out. Cena got AJ in the corner, lifting him back up to the top rope. And now Cena's up. Here we go. Trying for this AA again off the second rope. AJ fighting back with elbows and escapes. Now Cena's perched on the top rope. What we got? Springboard Frankensteiner. My goodness. AJ up. He's on the apron. Springboard looking for the phenomenal forearm, and he hits it. 1, 2. Oh, Cena kicks out again. My goodness. Sorry, I don't mean for there to be so much dead air, but I'm just kind of taking this in because This is probably only like this is only the second time I've watched this match all the way through. So obviously I watched it live, and then I probably watched it a couple years ago. I just had the network on, and it was when they were doing those marquee matches series where they just would show some of these marquee matches, and this was one of them, and I was like, that's a really great match. And I caught it, started it midway through. Big clothesline from Cena. Turns AJ inside out. So yeah, unlike some other matches that I've seen 100 times and, don't need to really watch, this one has my attention more so. So AJ's on Cena's shoulders, and this time Cena's climbing with AJ on his shoulders. AJ's trying to escape, but this time hits the second rope AA. 1, 2. AJ kicks out. And okay, so if there is one criticism of this match that someone might have, there is a lot of kicking out of finishers and whatnot in this match, which is something I'm usually not too fond of. But when it's a marquee match like this, I'm a little bit, I let it slide a little more. Even though this match is only fourth on the card, which seems low, but I mean, given that they still had 2 world title matches later in the night, and a big marquee Brock Randy Orton match, I kind of get why it's on so early, but it is kind of whoa. But there's no denying this was a marquee match, and so again, I let the whole kicking out of things give it a little bit more leeway than I would if it was just, if Miz and Apollo was doing the match before, I would have had a big problem with it. This match, not so much. So, hypocritical? Maybe, but, wrestling, wrestling's not objective, it's subjective, so. And we AJ's in one corner, standing, he's got that look of, what do I got to do? AJ's kind of stumbles right in, looking for another AA. AJ counters for a second Styles Clash. But he doesn't have the energy to flip him over, so he rolls out onto the apron, pulls the elbow pad off. Phenomenal forearm again. 1, 2, 3. AJ Styles beats John Cena again. Holy crap. That match goes about a little less than 30 minutes. Which is the perfect length. This is that's another reason I'm not one for super long matches. For me, it's half an hour or under. My sweet spot's usually 20, 25. If I get that and it's really, like this match, I'm happy. I feel fulfilled with that. I don't need these 45-minute hour marathon matches. That's not really my thing. This was definitely my thing. This match is great. So we're showing replays of, all the big moves towards the end of the match. And we're at 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 38, 39, 40 seconds. And the crowd, when he counters into that second AJ Styles Clash, that crowd just comes alive. And then the phenomenal forearm in slow motion, which looks beautiful. Nice. So AJ has 2 wins. under his belt against John Cena. And from here, I believe the very next month, he's going to beat Dean Ambrose for the WWE title. So in his first 9 months with the company, he wins the WWE title. That's pretty damn good. I don't think, coming in, you couldn't have asked for a better start to AJ Styles' WWE career. You just couldn't have. Like, he's one of the few cases where a guy who has a name from elsewhere comes into the company and makes a significant impact like this. So, good for him. Cena's in the ring now. He's getting a standing ovation, and he's pulling the armband off. He's pulling his armband off, and he's looking at it. Gives it a kiss, and lays it in the ring. And I remember thinking, wow, is Cena done? Because, he was starting to do Hollywood stuff at this time. And he was gone for, a month, maybe 2. And then he ended up coming back. But I remember somehow AJ's gone, so I don't know how he ends up getting it. But somehow AJ ends up with the armband. And of course, because, you look at John's arms, he's able to fit it around his head, because I think it actually is supposed to be a headband, but because John's arms are so huge, he wears it as an armband. And so AJ starts wearing it around his head, calling himself, he's the new face that runs the place. So, which led to some good stuff. So that's it. That is John Cena versus AJ Styles, SummerSlam 2016. Like I said, something different. Wanted to make sure I got something else out to you other than just the one episode this month. Again, I apologize for not producing the amount of content I normally do. Like I said, it's been really crazy. Hopefully things settle down a bit and I can get back to getting you guys your videos on time. So, all right. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a thumbs up on the video. Tap the bell for notification so you know when I post a new video. Follow me on Twitter at ibanezchris, facebook.com/music and moonsaults. If you want the audio, anchor.fm/Christopher-495. Yeah. Until next time, guys. See ya.